Hi, welcome to the channel. Today we're going to be covering how to change your fork oil. First things first, we have to get our bike ready so that we can do the service on the forks. Now, if you can go to one of my other videos which tells you how to take your forks out and put them back in, go and watch that video, subscribe, throw us a like, it all helps. Now, before we start, I have got my jack ready and I'll be removing the front wheel. I'll put that on a time lapse just so that it's not boring, but once I've got halfway I need to show you what you need to do before you actually take the forks out of the bike. I've got my forks ready. There's my left hand ones, there's my right hand forks. Now before I do anything to them, I need to take some recordings of where they're set already. These were literally set up for racetrack for me, and it's the starting point after I've renewed them to put them back. So I'll start on the left hand one. Now what I've got is on here, so this big one's to actually remove it, I'll show you that later. This gold one, that is actually the preload. It's a 14mm. Now what you can see is I've got 3 lines on there. So on my board I've actually wrote, now this is left hand, right hand, preload, the top big, that's the gold one. So that's 3 lines. Same on the right hand, 3 lines. They should literally be the same for both. What I will say is I had a 2016 R1. Each fork did something different. So one did compression, one did rebound, so they were different. These should be literally the same. Now, the small screw there, that is actually the rebound. Now, that clicks. Now, you got righty tighty, lefty loosey. So if I turn that to the right, that would be more rebound. And if I turned it to the left, that would be less. I'm going to count the clicks going out. So screwdriver in and it's listening for the clicks. 4, 5, 6, 7, 10, 11, 12, 15. So that's 15 full clicks on the rebound. So same again, 15. So that's from soft. So that is now setting the softest. Now, before I forget, that's the softest. And what you want to be doing is also putting your set everything at 0, and then you've not got any pressure on the springs inside. You can see I'm a bit, I had a fair bit of preload on, but I'm not the skinniest of lads. Right, so that's full preload out. Full preload, full rebound, they're on 0 now. At the bottom of the fork, this is the compression. Now the compression's a screw, and that's the exact same. All I'm going to do, lefty loosey, righty tighty. Left is soft, right is firm. So it's 1, 2, 3. I don't know if you can hear the clicks. That's 16, 17. $28. So that was 28 clicks. So compression, 28 clicks to soft. I will do the same on the right one, just to make sure. So I'm going to do exact same on that one. Back in a second. So I've just done the right hand one as well. Now what I found is it was not 28, it was actually 25. Now on the R1, 2008 R1 forks, the maximum compression is 25. These were maxed out at 25. So when I counted the right hand one, I counted 25 clicks left, which means the compression was set at full. What I will say is these might have been set at 25, just for the simple reason. So 2008, I don't know. They've never been changed while I've had it, and I've had the bike 10 years. So I think the fork oil was just that bad. We'll soon find out because that's what we're going to be changing. Right, so I'm going to clean the actual forks first. Now, this is just a degreaser. This is what I've got in my parts washer, and I am going to use this, and it's just to get all the grime. So literally, just spray it over it using a brush. And all I'm doing is getting it into all the parts. So give it a really good clean. If you look, it's dirt and grime all in there, around the seals. Turn it over. Same again. Look, you can see all the grime. Get it all in there. And all I'm doing, I'm just getting any crap off it before I service it. Why would I want to leave any of this stuff on when it comes to giving it a good service? Get an old cloth, just give it a wipe. This isn't the final clean I'm going to give it, but it's just so I can see what's actually going off. So now I've noticed something already. Now if you look here, it's got a bit of pitting, which 2008 R1, that's not bad. So it does, oh, there you go, a bit more crap off. I'm going to try some on that, so once I've cleaned these up a little bit, got something I can do. Right, so that was the left hand. Same with the right hand. I'll just be giving that a clean. Back in a sec. So I'll give them a good clean. Now the only thing I've really noticed, there is a bit of pitting on both forks. So this is left hand, that's right hand. So it's at the right at the bottom of the fork. This is what goes into the actual suspension, but it's right at the bottom. Now I have got this. Now what I do tend to use is this all year round. So like it prevents rust buildup, but it also can get rid of it. So all I'm going to do, I'm going to put a bit on that pitting. I'm not going to rub it off. I'm going to leave it to see if it gets rid of that rust, or that pitting, should I say. So I'm going to leave that on and then come back to that later, probably tomorrow. Right, now to get the old oil out. Now I've got my fork here, and what I've got is I've got a tub ready, because what I'm actually going to do is, once I've got the end off, I'm going to actually leave it like that, and I'll leave that overnight. Now I do need to have a jack to do this part. I've got my jack and open it up. Now what I won't do, I won't put that in there without a bit of protection. So I'm going to wrap it in some cloth because I don't want it to damage it. And all I'm going to do, got it there. That's a 24mm. Like so. And all I'm doing, I'm just loosening it. Right. Take that out of the jack. Put that to one side. Now this is where it does get a little bit sketchy, because what will happen is all the springs are in there. I know I've loosened them off, but it's still got some actual strength in it. So all I'm going to do, I'm holding this, stop it turning, and I'm going to loosen that, but I'm pressing down to prevent that from popping off. Right, so that's loose. Now, if I look, it's loose. And so it popped, it did just pop out, but it weren't too bad, to be honest. Now, what I've got to be careful here of, let me get ready for this, is as I push this down, the oil is actually in there. I can't actually see it yet. Right, the oil's down there. Now what I'm going to do is, I'm just going to tip that upside down. There it is. Oh, actually that's not bad to say it's 10-year-old. Wonder if it was serviced before I got it. But you can see that oil's coming out. And all I'm going to do, I'm going to leave that upside down so that all that oil now drains out. I will also do the right hand side one. So exact same process. So it's getting it loose. I'm just doing it in background while that oil's leaking. You can hear it. I am just working it background as you're happily watching some oil drain out. Right, this is the other one. So look, there's the oil. I have seen worse. So like in other bikes where I've done this, the oil has been really, really bad. That's not bad at all, that. Now, I don't know what grade that is. Now, Yamaha say for a 2008 R1, it should be 5W. I'm actually putting 10W in. I've always upgraded my oils. Now, I will be putting that one in. That's what I've always changed it to. Even on the 2016, I upgraded it, and I think that were a 0.25. What it means, because these have had a lot of wear, you've got to think the springs are about, they're not done, but they've had a lot of compression. Put a better oil in, you can do a thicker grade, and it gives you a bit more power in your actual forks. Before I forget, I'll just show you this. Now, I did forget to just show you. Now, when you've got it in your tub and you've left it, make sure, look, so it fits down like that. Push down, because what will happen is you'll push the damper inside and you'll get some more oil coming out. Look, there it is. So make sure you're getting it all to come out. So now it's the next day, and all I've done, I've just left it in the tub for any extra oil to drain out. We'll put that down. Right, so this is the left-hand one. I'm going to do this one first. And all I'm going to do, a bit of tissue, and it's just where the end's been sat in the actual oil. And what I'll do, I'll just keep that on it just so no extra oil, and I'll move it to my bench. So this is a left hand. Just get set up. And now all I'm going to do with this one is just get any residual oil off. So I'm opening it up this side. Just loads of blue roll, just cleaning any excess oil that's been left. Also clean the main barrel. Right, now when I get to the bottom part, now this is where I had a bit of corrosion and I put the ACF 50 on. Don't know if you can See it brilliantly. It's still there, but it has actually cleaned them up a bit. It doesn't look so pitted and, you know, that rusty colour. Give them a good clean. Just make sure it's in the best condition it can be. Now, while I've got it here, I'm also going to check the seals. These weren't leaking. I did check them. I do check them quite often. But literally, I'm just looking at the condition of the seal. Absolutely fine. I will probably do a how to change your seals at a later date. Not on this one, this is fine, but I've got other ones I can do. And all I'm doing, I'm just making sure there's no old oil or anything that's going to interfere with the new oil that I'm going to put in. Now this is just a oil change. Now, before I get this part, I'm actually going to get my oil ready. So I've got a measuring jug. That can all go. So I've got a measuring jug, and what I want, it's 528 millimeters. So here's the milliliters, and it's 520 milliliters per fork. So all I'm going to do, pour it in, and I'm going to get it on 528. And that, I've just got it. I don't know if I'll bring it closer. So look, there's the 5. And if anything, I've gone 530, 540. It's fact, all you're doing, you're just closing the air gap. So the fuller you put it, you don't want it full, you do need that compression. Now when I go to put it in, what I want to do is, as you can see, there's loads of bubbles. I will leave it stood up so all them bubbles come to the top. But when I put it in, what I'm going to go for is pour it on its side so that I don't get any more extra bubbles in. It's just a nice steady, there's no rush. And all I'm doing, I'm just filling it all back up. I don't know if you saw what I did, I just lifted it up, and just a bit more goes in a bit quicker. There it leaked. Went a bit too fast then. Can hear it gurgling as it's filling up inside the stanchion. There's no rush, you just go nice and steady. Right. That's one side. Let me just clear that little bit of leakage off. Now if you look in here, you can actually see it just at the top. Look. So it's just filled. What I'm going to do from there is I'm going to bring it up. Now what I really want to do is just, and I'm not tightening this fully, I'm just going to put a couple of turns on it, and then I'm going to rest it on the floor. Now while I'm doing that, I can do the next one. So all I've done, I've just put the top on, and it's not fully, and then got it ready. Now I'll do the same with this one. So if I get that one, bring it over, and I'll just do the exact same process, and I'll not mess about this time. I'll just do it normal speed. I'd do it. So I'm cleaning all the crap off. This is just brake cleaner. Brilliant stuff. It cleans literally everything. On the bottom part. Now this was the actual stanchion that had a bit more. You can just see it's still there. Once these are fitted back to the bike, I will actually put ACF 50 on it, and that'll just maintain it, stop it worsening. So there's, you see, you can do it quite quick. Same with fork oil, literally 528, which I did go over, so I'll put that little bit in. It's one bottle. Like I say, I've gone for a thicker grade just because I've got, they are quite old, this suspension now. And I'm not the lightest of people, I must admit. Everyone to their own. You can put the original 5 in if you want, but try it. So 5. Ooh. There you go. So that's just over again. So I've done like 530. So my oil's ready. Get it set up. And all I'm going to do, put it down the side again. Hopefully I don't spill a bit this time. Now it is going to fill the fork up, you know, to the top of this stanchion, or this tube, should I say. And that's fine. I keep it stood up. Now what's going to happen is there is air bubbles in this, and I want the air bubbles to be coming out. So what I'll tend to do is, that's why I keep it stood up for a bit, just so that the air bubbles can come to the top. I've got to do other parts as well, where it's the inners, there's a tube and you need to get the air out of that. So what I'll be doing is, once I've got the main air bubbles out, I'll pump it a few times, turn it upside down, leave it for a while again. Well, and it's making sure like you're not compromising the actual suspension when you're putting your oil in. Get rid of them air bubbles. I know you've got an air gap, but you don't want the air bubbles trapped within the internals of the actual suspension, so like the rods that are inside. Like I said, no rush. This one's not gurgling like the last one did. I don't know if you notice what I am doing on this one. Like, I will show you. So there's a special machine. I'll show you changing the actual springs on another video. But that hole there, there's one on either side. That hole there is actually, for this one, you need a special machine or a frame, and you connect it to that, and that pulls them down, and it lets you get to the internal, so you can actually change the springs. I will show you that at a later date. All I'm doing, I'm just still filling it up. It's nearly there. There we go. And as you can see, oh, where are you? Focus. There it is. It's just at the top. Same again. Just going to seal it up, and all I'm doing is I'm just going to get the air bubbles just to raise to the top so I'm not having issues. So I'll leave that one there. Left, right, I know which one I'm doing. Right, now when it comes to this one again, I'm keeping it upright. Now I am going to tighten that a little bit more. Just hand tight, this is not like with the socket. And all I'm going to do this time is press down. So all I'm going to do is press it down. I'm literally just putting my weight on it. Now you can do it on the floor, which I'll show you that one. So hopefully you can see me. All I'm going to do, put the weight on it, and I'm pushing down on the suspension to get the oil working round into the actual internals. And it is only hand tight. Different speeds. Now if I get my socket, now I'm not going to do this mega tight. All I'm going to do is get it to nip up because I don't want it leaking. Now what I'll do is I'll leave it upside down. There's my things. So that's the left hand one, so I know which one I'm doing. Same on the right hand. Just do it up by hand. And it's just, oh, got my glove. There you go. And then just press it down again. You can actually feel, when you first do this, what you'll feel is there's no suspension in it and it feels really loose. By doing this, what you're doing is you're getting the air pushed round the internals. So, put a cloth up top, it's just saves a bit hitting my hands. Done that again, and then all I'm going to do, I'll just give it a little tighten, not a big one. Turn it upside down, and I'll give that a while now. Right, while I'm waiting for the forks, I'm just going to show you this. So what I've done, I've got a white background, I've got a tub, and this is the old fork oil, and this is the difference. You don't really see it. At first I thought, oh, it's not too bad, but once you actually get it, and it's trying to show you the difference, it's like you can see as it's running the dirt and the grit and grime, and it's just wear. Look, and it's the grime. Now thinking that this oil, I haven't changed it, so, and I've had this bike like 10 years and I've never ever changed this. Now you saw the colour of the actual oil I put in. That is the colour of the fork oil. If I try to pour it up to the light, got it, that done. It's really, really dark, really contaminated. And that's why we're changing the oil. Yeah, it felt okay, but I mean, compression we're at 25, fully on. But we'll see once we get the new oil all settled and do our suspension. Right, back to my forks. And I have left them for a while now to sit. Now, while they're upside down, I am actually going to press it from this direction as well. And what I'm doing, I'm forcing the oil around the suspension, the internals, and it's to get rid of any air bubbles. Air doesn't compress, so I actually need that air to be out. And I've done it this way So it travels up, and then I'll turn it the other way, and then while it starts, it'll do it again. All I'm doing, put it that way, get a cloth on top because it's hard. And you can hear it moving inside. By doing that, it just gets it all swirled round. Now I am going to tighten the top up. Oh, let me get the adjustable, just to make it a little bit easier. That's tight. Same on this one. What you'll find is at the beginning it goes fast, but then as it's getting round, it goes, you can feel it pushing and pulling as you do the suspension. But God, it's knackering. That's that. Now what I'll do is I'll give it another final clean. So initially I'm using brake cleaner, really good at getting any oil or grease off, giving it all a nice good clean. So that's the right one. Here's the left one. Now, to protect my actual chrome bits, all I'm going to do, AC50, get it on there and give it just a good rub. It's brilliant. It prevents prevents rust build up, keeps it clean, it's really good protection for a motorbike, especially if you're using bike through winter. Get it on your bike, look after it. I will press that down. You can see where it's just moved it. So we're just getting that thin layer on it so it looks after it. Don't need it thick, you don't need it going onto your brakes or anything. There we go. So that's the right, that's the left. Now it's back to setting them. So what I'll do first, look at my board. This is left hand. So preload is 3 lines. So if you remember, the preload is the top one. On this, it's the big one at the top. This one. And I'm just trying to get down to 3 lines. Now preload will depend on your weight. So if you're ever at track, get the suspension guide to set it up. Over years I've learned what works for me, how to alter it and so forth. But first off, you need to get it set. Now I am just putting this as a basic. I will adjust it once it's back on the bike and I'm sat on it, because I can tell what I need to do on the preload. Same on the right hand. All I'm going to do, set it to 3, then I can alter it. One, two, there we go. So they're now both set at 3, and then I'm going to go for rebound, which is the top little one. Now this is the right one. These were set at 15, so it's 15 clicks. So I initially 15 clicks left is the softest, so I need to go 15 right to have it set at what it were. So 1, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Same on the left. With newer ones, I have said before, newer suspension, one side will be compression, one side will be rebound now. But they're both rebound on this. 1. That's 15. You're feeling for the clicks. That's all you're feeling for. So then we've got our compression, which is the bottom one on these. Now this was 25. I'm not doing 25 because I've changed the oil altogether. And 25, in reality, according to the book, is fully in. So all I'm going to do, I'm going to start probably 15. That's 15 clicks on that. This is the right one. Now what I'll do with that is I'll leave that now until I'm on the bike, and then I'll see what happens with the tyres, how it feels. I can alter rebound, damping, preload and compression. Now let's get them back on the bike. So there's the forks back in. I fitted the mudguard, fitted the wheels. I've made sure everything's tightened up. Now, before you actually take it out or you give it a good run, get it off the jack. Don't forget I put it on a jack to get it up. Get the jack out of the way. Now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to press the actual bike and its suspension down. So I'm going to take it off its back stand as well, and it's just for this process. So I'm going to move the bike back, push it forward, brake. Helps if I actually pull the brakes on. Right, because I moved the calipers back. That was my error. Right, so push. And all I'm doing, I'm literally pushing, pressing the brake so that the suspension goes down. Now, sit on it. Literally, I'm just rocking back and forth with the brake on with my body weight. That's going to give me a rough idea what is needed. So, right, when I say what's needed, I meant to alter the actual suspension. Get it back on its stand. Then you can alter it accordingly. Well, I hope I've helped you how to change your fork oil. Very simple job. Just be careful about tightening things up. Get them air bubbles out. Once the bike's set up, take it for a run. See how your suspension feels. If you know what you're on about, obviously you can look at your tyre wear once you've run it a bit. And then that way you can actually adjust your suspension. But easy job. If you enjoyed it, give us a subscribe, throw us a like. Cheers.